Om Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shanti Mapnuyat Shanto Mucceta Bandebhyo Muktaschanyan Vimochaye. O Lord, let all the wicked people be transformed into righteous people. Let all the righteous people strive for knowing the truth. Let all the knower of truths attain peace, and let help others to attain the peace. My dear devotees, we were discussing Narada's Bhakti Sutras, Narada's aphorisms on devotion. This is a great devotional work. We all know that we are discussing, and it is very easiest path, as told by Sri Ramakrishna, the great master of this age. Because we are all basically emotional beings, our emotions are very strong in nature. It is stronger than intellect. So if these emotions are purified, and if these emotions are turned towards God, towards Almighty, towards the Supreme Lord, then it becomes devotion. So emotion has got a greater strength, it has got a great force, but it has to be directed properly. And that's the reason the scriptures tell that the path of devotion is easy and very practicable for many of the spiritual aspirants. After discussing the means, the way how to practice devotion, how to attain devotion, the fruits of attaining the devotion has been told in the 50th verse, 50th aphorism. Sahatarati, Sataharati, Salokam starayati. The person who has attained that supreme devotion, he goes beyond this duality. He attains, he'll be free from this cycle of birth and death. Not only that, he helps others and he goes beyond of any necessity, basically. I mean, he does not only go beyond the ocean of birth and death, a cycle of birth and death, he may also help others to do. In this Sahatarati, Sahatarati, the same word has been repeated twice. Why? In the sutra, it should be in a very precise manner. As much as possible, less of words should be there. The definition of sutra goes like this. In very few words, without any ambiguity, without any confusion, the idea should be conveyed. Under the lighter side, they say, in the Sutrakara, while framing the sutras, aphorisms, even if he reduces one syllable, if he is capable of reducing one syllable in that aphorism, he feels that he is having a son. I mean, a person, if he gets a son, how much happy he will feel, how much happier bliss he will feel, such happiness he will feel, the person who is composing the sutras or aphorisms. Means it will be a very cryptic language. In the olden days, if you know, shorthand they used to do. Like for an example, therefore, 3 dots, since 3 dots downwards. So in very cryptic way, they used to write. Here, they don't use symbols, but it is a symbolic language, but it is used in a words, in very few words or very little words. So he has used the same words, 2 words, Sahatarati, twice. Why? He could have avoided 4 letters. He could have avoided. That means he would have enjoyed, like he will having a 4 sons, isn't it? Why the author has repeated the same 2 words, Sahatarat? It is to show the reader to make the reader to understand, the hearer to understand that the topic which I was discussing is ended, and now in the next aphorism, I'll be taking the new topic. See how intelligent these people are. So instead of that, I'm ending, simply as used the same word twice, that indicates, that symbolizes that, okay, so we are ending the topic now. I'm ending the topic. From the next aphorism, I'll be starting the new idea or new topic. One who attains this supreme devotion, he gets free from the cycle of birth and death. Now the question may come, why do we, or why should we get out from the cycle of birth and death? How much ever we struggle, or how much ever we enjoy, how much ever we accomplish in this mundane life, in the worldly life, for the saints, for the philosophers, it feels that this world is full of duality, and it is better we should be free from this. For an example, I am a very accomplished person. I have got good house, I've got good family, and I've got enough bank balance, then I'll be living a happiest life. Yes, no doubt. Your life is settled and you are leading a settled life, so you will have a happy life, no doubt. But at some point of time, how much ever you may be wealthy person, how much ever you are capable person, how much ever you are a very celebrity, but lot of difficulties and lot of challenges keeps coming. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are unhappy. Sometimes you are joyful, sometimes you are morose or misery. So these things, it keeps on coming and going. The duality like ebbs and tides, just like a wave. Either I'm a poor or a rich, or I'm a middle person. So if I want to get away from all these things, and if I want to have the bliss, if I want to have the unalloyed bliss at all times eternally, then the scriptures say that it is better that for you to attain God or to attain self-realization. It is a state of unalloyed bliss eternally. I'm happy today. Yesterday I was happy. Tomorrow I will be happy. But afterwards, what will happen, we don't know. After a week or so, what will happen, we don't know. But by spirituality, by self-knowledge, by love of God, or by God realization, what will happen? We'll be able to get this unalloyed bliss. We'll be able to get rid of all these dualities. This duality also indicates what? If you go beyond duality, what happens? If you go beyond dualities, that means you will be a free person. You may be a celebrity, you may be a politician, political entrepreneur, or you may be industrialist, but still you are in the world, you will be affected by this. You cannot say that I'm free person all the time. So if the absolute freedom is possible only either by having God realization or self-realization. So sahatarati, he goes beyond all these dualities. He goes beyond all the trigunas. He will be the free person, eternally, completely free person. So to attain that freedom, one has to practice devotion, and one who establishes in the path of devotion, he can reach that state where nothing will shake him. For an example, in the whole of Europe, there is a one great discussion now because of the Russia and Ukraine war. There's a lot of problem. Gas rates, electricity rates, or especially oil rates. Gas rates and oil rates is going to increase, and also there will be a problem with the shortage of this gas and oil in the Europe in the coming winter. What will happen to us? Either a poor person or a rich person, everyone is bothered about it. What will happen? So I cannot say that, okay, I don't bother about all these things, though I'm living in the society. I cannot say that. If I'm living in the society, just like everyone is getting bothered or everyone is getting disturbed, even I do get disturbed. Externally, no doubt. But if a person who has got self-realization, a person who has got God realization, he may be get disturbed externally, but he will not be disturbed internally. So that also can be understood by this one, two words, sahatarati, he goes beyond. One is he goes beyond the cycle of birth and death. The other is he goes beyond all types of dualities. I think in very generally standardly I will be telling. So Advaita, path of devotion, he enables a being from traveling from what to so what. What? So what? What? So what? It looks very simple words, this what to so what, but if you think deeply, you'll be able to understand the significance and the efficacy of this thing. And some of them, it is not that everyone does, and the people who have achieved the goal, they say that some of them, they also help other beings to get away from the cycle of samsara. Maybe prophets, incarnations, great saints, they do help out of compassion for the people to come out from this cycle of samsara. Maybe Jesus Christ, Muhammad Paigambar, Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, like this, so many people, so many great sages, they have helped. They didn't have anything to attain, they didn't have anything to achieve, they didn't want anything from the society or from the people, but still they were struggling hard to help the people to get rid of this samsara or to get rid of this all the problems. Why? Because not of compulsion, because out of compassion. What is the difference between compulsion and compassion? I am in the compulsive state, most of us, because of my nature. Oh, he's a hard worker. Yes, because it is his nature. Fine. There is no wrong in it, but without work, he becomes mad. Oh, that means, Swamiji, do you say that we should not hard work? Or the people who work hard, they should not? I'm not saying that it is good or bad, but without work, he will become bad. He's in his compulsive state. Some people always want to be calm, quiet, and if they get a lot of people, their mind gets disturbed. Oh, so much noise. I can't bear this noise. And the same time, some people are always in the noisy atmosphere. If they go to forest or if they go to the calm place, they get disturbed. So, like this, every one of us, we have got our own errors. Because of that, we are always in compulsive state. And also, we have taken birth. Whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, there is no option. Because of our past karmas, past actions, results, we have to take birth. So either taking birth, working, all these things, we are in compulsive state. But these people, they are not in compulsive state. So if they wish, if they want to help, they can help. Otherwise, they can keep quiet. So out of compassion for living beings, out of compassion for all of us, these people helps. That is called Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha means helping the people or helping the world. And one who has attained that supreme state, supreme devotion, he also helps others to attain that state. Maybe Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, or Basavanna, one who comes from South India, Karnataka, and St. Francis of Assisi, Saint Teresa. So, like that, there are so many saints in every religion. Out of compassion, they help spiritual aspirants in their own congregations, in their own religions, or in paths to for their spiritual aspirants to reach that supreme devotion. That's what told by Narada. Now, again, Narada takes a new topic here regarding devotion. What is that supreme love? Already I said Parama Prema Swarupa, no doubt. And Amrita Swarupacha is already told, if you remember, in the second and third sutras, I have discussed these things. Then he has started discussing from the aphorism 51, what is the nature of this devotion? Anirvachaniyam Prema Swarupam. The nature of supreme love is beyond description. So this is the problem of all the scriptures. Logical positivists, a school of philosophy in the Western philosophy, they say metaphysics is meaningless. Why? It cannot be proved. It cannot be objectively experimented and shown, or it cannot be told, just like a empirical science. So metaphysics are meaningless. Metaphysics is nonsense, they say. For an example, I can show in empirical science, they can show a particular object. They can make an experiment and they can demonstrate like that. Your spiritual principles, spiritual ideas cannot be done. So it is metaphysics is meaningless and nonsense. It is just hypothetical arguments, they say. but they don't understand why the spirituality or the spiritual principles or the principles regarding to God, principles regarding to self, that is consciousness, it cannot be explained objectively, like objectively sense in the way, like an object. Why? Because God is neither an object, that the self is neither an object, so it cannot be shown objectively. Look here, this is the, I mean, here is a thing. Whereas the empirical sense, whatever it is trying, there are objects. Atom is also an object, very tiny object, microscopic object. I cannot see him through naked eye, never mind, but I can see through microscope. Maybe amoeba, paramecium, all these things. But the God and the self, they are not object, they are subject or they are pure consciousness. That is the reason we will not be able to show things as we show objects that they don't understand. That's the first point. The second is the consciousness which the Vedanta speaks, it is beyond mind. It is beyond space and time. It is beyond world and speech and thought. So as a result, we will not be able to show things. Only one can experience. That is why it is called. That's why the Narada, the celestial sage Narada, is telling that it is anirvachaniya. It is indescribable. We cannot really explain what is devotion, what is that supreme conscious, and what is the experience of that supreme devotion or consciousness. We cannot tell. Only one has to experience. Now, the possible logical question, it comes to any one of you, that if it is indescribable, then what were you doing, Swamiji, till now? Then why Narada wrote 50 aphorisms till now? He wrote 50 aphorisms. Then why did he waste his time? And why did he waste our time? And what are you going to do then? Why did you take this book then? If you are not able to explain what is devotion, then what is this? They say, I mean, the next sutra, the Narada clears why it is indescribable. It is, if it is indescribable, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It is self-evident, but only it has to be experienced, but it cannot be described. How to understand? We all feel that everything can be explained, isn't it, Swamiji? Why not this? Probably such type of questions were asked by many devotees and even youths when I have gone to different talks. Generally, I used to put a cross question for them. Look, you enjoyed one sweet meat. Fine. How was it? It was very tasty and it was very delicious. Fine. The sweet meat was very tasty, sweet meat was very delicious. Can you explain it? What do you mean by tasty? Can you explain it? What is delicious? Oh, Swamiji, it cannot be explained. Or probably you will tell, okay, it is tasty, it is delicious, means, say for an example, you take a chocolate. If you like chocolate, you eat, then you will experience, that is what I mean, tasty or delicious. Then tasty or delicious means chocolate? No. Okay, you would have a sweet meat, particular sweet meat, for example, Mysore pak, one sweet from India, Indian sweet or rasgulla. Okay, you eat, you will enjoy. That is what I mean, it is tasty or delicious. Then the tasty delicious means Mysore pak or rasgulla? No. Whatever he gives an explanation for the tasty and delicious, rather completely to the point, he will not be able to tell. Finally, he will say, look, I ate this sweet meat and you also eat. Then you will understand what do I mean taste delicious. A simple mundane experience, a simple day-to-day experience, simple worldly experience. What do I mean by tasty and delicious? He was not able to explain in reality. Only finally he gave the same object. You eat it and you enjoy it. Then you will be able to understand what is tasty and delicious. Now, if I don't like sweet at all, I'm not interested in sweet. And he enjoyed sweet meat. It was tasty, delicious for him. Then he gave to me. I ate, okay, it is a sweet, fine, that's all. It is not, neither I felt the same joy, whatever he felt, nor it was tasty, delicious for me, because I don't have any sense, I don't have any liking towards it. Again, it differs. So in the simple day-to-day experience, many things we take it for granted, but in reality we cannot explain. Idamitham, we say in Sanskrit. This is what we cannot explain. Then how to speak of suprasensual experiences or transcendental experience? Definitely, it is not possible. Only we think that it is all possible, everything can be explained and everything should be explained. We try, no doubt, but it is not possible. In the 52nd, the celestial sage Narada gives clarity for his 51st aphorism, why it is indescribable. Mukasvadanavat. Why? Because it is the experience experienced by like a dumb person. Now you give a cake or pastry for him, for a dumb person. He tasted it, he enjoyed it, and we asked, how is it? He said, it is wonderful, it is very nice, it is nice, and all. He's making sign languages, but he's not able to speak or is unable to speak. Why? He cannot speak. Even just like a dumb person is unable to experience, unable to explain his own experiences, similarly, even the transcendental experience or the experience of that supreme devotion also cannot be explained properly. Why? Logically, it is beyond mind, it is beyond words, it is beyond speech and thought and space and time. That is one is logic. Probably whoever studied Taittiriya Upanishad, there, a Rishi, and experiences himself, who am I? Aham Brahmasmi Vishwa, I am that Brahman. So he experiences that, and after experience, he wants to tell, he wants to narrate, but he's not able to get the words. And he was with full of unalloyed joy or bliss. And finally, he tried to explain with few words. He was unable to. Then he starts telling the experience. He starts describing ha vu ha vu ha vu ahamannam 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 ahamannado ahamannado ahamannadaham. Like this, he keeps on explaining with a few words and with the syllabus, long syllabus, ha, woo, ha, woo, ha. Means, oh, it is supreme joy, it is so nice, but I am unable to explain. A Rishi's experienced this one. So, like that, all the transcendental experience, it is not possible to explain in reality. That's why Sri Ramakrishna beautifully he explained this logical explanation in a simple way, in a simple story. He tells, look, I've experienced many things. I want to tell and I want to narrate. I want to make you people aware of it. But what to do? Mother Kali, she is holding my throat. Since she is holding my throat, I am unable to speak. Now, if you take this example, this narration of Sri Ramakrishna, literally, we'll feel, oh, Mother Kali is not allowing him to speak, so he's unable to speak his experience. Is it that? No. He is symbolically, he's telling that, look, the experience, whatever I experienced, the Mother Kali, the experience, whatever I had, the transcendental experience of Brahman or that God cannot be explained in the words. So to understand, to explain that highest truth, he used this simple way, like Mother Kali is holding my throat. What can I do? I'm unable to explain you people. And he gives one more example. A salt doll went to examine the depth of the ocean. The salt doll, the moment when it goes into the water, what happens? We all know in no time it gets dissolved. When it gets dissolved, what happens? It will be unable to study the depth of the ocean and it will not be able to come and tell us what is the depth of the ocean. That means what? The moment when we understand who are we will not be the I and the experience and the experiencer and the experienced. All these three things will not be different. The experiencer, experienced, and the experience, all the three will become one. So there will be no one to say that what is that experience at all. For example, in the deep sleep. I'm in the deep sleep. If the person who is in the deep sleep, will he say that, will he keeps on beating his drums and says, okay, I'm in the deep sleep, I'm in the deep sleep, I'm in the deep sleep. If he says that, then we all know that we laugh at it. That means he's not in the deep sleep. The person who was entering the sleep, he is aware. After the sleep, when he comes out, he is aware. But in between, he is not aware. Only based on his memory, He will try to explain, I had a good sleep, I didn't had a good sleep, or I had a disturbed sleep. Even the sleep we cannot explain, because we all know that we all experienced when we someone say that he she had a good sleep or I had a good sleep, we can understand what does he mean or what does she mean. But if we don't have experience of that sleep, deep sleep, then definitely we don't understand. Then the next question may come, then all the spiritual experience is not at all possible to explain. If so, then what all the scriptures are trying? So, based on their experience, when their mind comes down little from that absolute experience, based on the memory, the philosophers, the saints, they start explaining the nature of the experience, the nature of the God, the nature of the self. This we have to understand very clearly. The greatest philosopher of the non-dualistic philosophy, maybe Shankaracharya, or the greatest philosopher of the qualified monoism, Vishishtadvaita, Ramanujacharya, or the greatest philosopher, one of the greatest philosophers of the dualism, that is Madhvacharya, and Shuddhadvaita philosopher, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of them had experiences of the God or the experience of self-realization. After their experience, when their mind came down, then only based on the memory or based on their experience, they started explaining. But while experiencing the truth, while experiencing God or while having God realization, they never started explaining about it. They wanted to explain by this so that it can be a sort of road map or route map for the spiritual aspirants. For that reason, they started explaining all these things. That we have to understand. Either any great philosopher, greatest philosopher, science, when they're experiencing this transcendental experience, they will not be able to explain. After their experience, when their mind comes down, then only will be able to understand, explain. Just like our sleep. Then, if we are not able to describe, then how to understand that? I have got, I have attained a devotion, or he or she has attained that supreme devotion. How to attain, how to understand that? So, if someone says that I have achieved a supreme devotion, we have to accept, because it cannot be described. Is it? Then, for that reason, that question may come for us in the 53rd aphorism. Celestial sage Narada gives explanation. Prakashate kwapi patre. No, but it may not be able to explain, but it can be observed, it can be seen. Why? Because this devotion manifests in some container. In some container. So, okay, we have got some container in the house. There does it manage? That's what the celestial sage Narada means. Your container means it is an individual soul. The devotion, the supreme devotion, manifests in the fit person, means in the right spiritual aspirant. That's what Narada meant. That we can see very clearly when we see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, life of Holy Mother, life of Swami Vivekananda. And today we are having a birthday celebration of Swami Akandhanandaji Maharaj, who is the apostle of Sri Ramakrishna. In him also we can see how the devotion had manifested in his life. He never cared for himself. He never cared for his personal things. He was always thinking about God, or he was always thinking about the people. As himself said that, by the grace of my Guru Sri Ramakrishna, I was able to see the Shiva, the God, the Brahman, or whatever you say. I was able to see the Shiva, and with the help of Swami Vivekananda, I was able to see that living God, Shiva, in every individual. What a great statement, you see. He was able to experience that Lord God. He was able to see that. For us, God is till now, it is it is a speculation. Okay, we all believe God exists and we worship, we do pray, we try to remember, we try to visualize his form. But for him, it was a matter of experience. He had a vision of Shiva. He had a vision of Vishnu or Krishna or whatever. Not only that, and he was able to see that same God in every being. And that is seen very clearly in his life. When he was an itinerant monk, when he was walking in the western part of India, the people were struggling and the people were suffering because of drought and famine. Oh, I'm a monk. I don't bother. I don't bother for all these things. My life is dedicated to God and God alone. Saying that he never left Rather, is that there are so many people suffering, I should do something. To help something, it is a good idea, no doubt, but his pockets are empty. He doesn't have a single penny for himself. Then how can he help them? Then he inquired, he went to some rich people in the nearby villages. He went and he spoke with them, he tried to convince them, and he tried to bring some food or some money, and he purchased some food, and he distributed the food for the needy people or the poor people who ate the food probably 3 4 days before. I mean, he did quite a number of days, not one day or not one time, quite a number of days. This service he did, Swami Akhandanji Maharaj. Afterwards, in Murshidabad district, in the very backward district of the West Bengal, there he started an orphanage also, where the poor children, orphans, or single parent children, they were brought, and they were from morning to evening, they were taken care with food, lodging, accommodation, education, everything. In the reminiscences, the people who have seen him in his that ashrama, Sargachi ashrama, they say that early morning, what we expect from a monk, early morning you will be sitting in a meditation or you will be worshipping. Early morning he used to get up and he start giving a bath for the children, small children, because they were all small. Some children they never knew how to take bath. He used to either teach or he used to give the bath for the children. A young novice, he asked, it seems, Akhandanji Maharaj, early morning in a Brahmi Murta, early morning, we are supposed to dedicate our time for God. But instead of that, you are giving bath for all these children. Is it not you are deviating from spiritual path? A monk, he should meditate, isn't it? By seeing that, what can we learn? So this question was asked by novice to Swami Akhandanji Maharaj. Swami Akhandanji laughingly said, yes, the Shiva whom you worship in the altar, or in the or in the temple, or in the chapel, whomever you worship and whomever is there, whom I'm giving a bath to this boy, for me, both look alike. Both are same. The same Shiva whom you are worshipping in the temple, or on the Shiva whom you are going to meditate, the same Shiva is residing in him. When I'm giving a bath, I feel that, and also I'm able to see that I'm giving a bath, I'm doing abhishekam to the Lord Shiva. This is what Loka Samkhya, which we discussed in the earlier two aphorisms before. Now we may try to imitate Swami Akhandanji Maharaj like him. We may try to imitate, but will not be able to do in that same way how Swami Akhandanji Maharaj did. And why it was possible for him? Because he was a realized person. His devotion was manifested. The devotion manifested in him in a complete form, in a full form, in the full possible form. That's why he was able to see that same God or divine in everyone, in every creature. That's what here the celestial sage Narada means prakashate kvapi patre. In the fit people, this devotion is manifested. The love for God is manifested. That can be seen very clearly from everyone. From that, we can understand what devotion means, at least to a certain extent. And also, because this is very important, this idea. If, for an example, if you have studied psychology, one of the psychologists called Luby, I think, L-E-U-B-A, I don't know, I mean, different countries, they pronounce differently. Luby, a psychologist, he says that all the spiritual experiences are hallucinations and hysteria. He opines that. Why? Because it cannot be explained, they say, and it cannot be objectively explained, or it cannot be told. So it is all subjective. So it is hallucination, hysteria, according to me. It is not true. A psychologist, he says, probably lack of spiritual maturity or lack of, purity of mind, probably he didn't understand, according to me. The people who has got rid of this ego, who has got a pure mind, definitely they will be able to understand what is devotion and what is the self-knowledge. So this type of questions may come to any one of us. To get rid of this question or to solve this question, to solve this doubt, Celestial Sage Narada is telling that, look, this devotion is manifested in the people who are fit enough. And how to make ourselves fit enough? From 32 to 50 aphorisms, the Celestial Sage Narada, he was keep on explaining. He had explained that we should remember. Now in the 54th aphorism, he starts explaining again the nature of the devotion. You said that, okay, a devotee who is a good devotee, in him the devotion is manifested. So, can you tell few qualities by which we'll be able to understand that, okay, he's a devotee, is a right devotee, or in him probably the devotion has been manifested completely in a full form? Can you tell? Can you give some signs? Can you give some indications? We may get some questions. For that, celestial sage Narada, Devarshi Narada, in his 54th aphorism, is telling, yes, Gunarahitam, Kamanarahitam, Pratikshana Vardhamanam, Avichinnam, Sukshmataram, Anubhavarupam. Six qualities, six signs has been told by celestial sage Narada in this aphorism. What is that? One is Gunarahitam, means it is free from attributes. It is beyond all the three gunas. Then the second is Kamana Rahitam. It is free from all types of desires. Pratikshana Vardhamanam. Every moment it keeps on increasing. It doesn't decrease, it increases. Avichinnam, uninterrupted. There is no interruption at all. And Sukshmataram, it is very subtle. And Anubhava Rupam, it is a matter of innermost experience. Now we shall see one by one, we will try to understand. Guna Rahitam. It without any attributes, it is beyond three gunas. What is these three gunas? Probably, if you have listened to my Tattvabodha Aparokshanubhuti lectures, you will be able to understand. We have got three gunas. One is Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. According to the Sankhya philosophy, or even the Vedanta philosophy, the whole world and even our personalities, we are all made up of these three gunas: Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. Whereas this devotion is beyond that. God is beyond that. So the devotion is also beyond these three gunas. Tamo guna means it is inertia, dull. Means one wants to sleep always, one doesn't want to work, one wants to get things easily done without much hard labor. Such type of quality in whomever it is there, that is called tamo guna, and such type of qualities in whomever it is there, he is called tamo guni. Is a part and parcel of that tamo guna or quality. And the second quality, second nature or second attribute or quality is rajoguna, means activeness. Who is hyperactive? Is active always. He doesn't sit at one moment at one place. Restlessness is a one thing, and is always active. He keeps on working. He meditates, he studies, he goes for walking, he cleans the houses, he works in his office. From morning to evening, or in his whole life, we have never seen him sitting. He's always active. This activeness is there in every being, in every human being. It differs from percentage to percentage. So this activeness, this is called Rajoguna. And some people always like to study, keep on studying, keep on thinking. And they always would like to stay at the level of ideas and thoughts. And they will have a simple living. They don't bother about the world and worldly things. They always bother about the knowledge acquisition. So such type of qualities are known as Sattva Guna. They want to lead a simple life. They want to lead the always pure life. And for them, knowledge per se, knowledge is power, knowledge is supreme. So they are busy in acquiring knowledge, not for a job, just for acquiring knowledge sake, that's all. So such type of qualities in whoever is there, he is known as Satvika person. Such qualities are Sattva Guna. But these three qualities are also binds a person to the samsara or to this world. And if a person wants to achieve God, attain God, or attain self-realization, a personality has to go beyond these three qualities. And so he's saying that a person who has gone beyond these three qualities, then you can understand that he is a great devotee. That we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. How he was gone beyond these three qualities. He was able to do actions, and at the same time, he was able to keep quiet himself. He used to sleep hardly, maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, that's all. But because he didn't sleep, because his health was not, there was no problem for his health. Why? Tamoguna is very less. And Rajoguna, he is not hyperactive. And it is not, without work, he will become mad. No. He worked hard, no doubt, whenever he was a pujari and all. After some time, the work, Naishkarmya, we say, the work falls from him. So without work, he can stay. And Sattva Guna. He was always meditative, he was always contemplative, he was a devotive and all. Again, he gone beyond that. In the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, we can understand his Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where he stayed for 6 months. So, Gunarahitam, he is beyond three gunas, we can understand very clearly. And Kamana Rahitam, he's free from all type of desires. I don't like sweets, so I don't have any desires for sweets. But I like Coke and pizza and burger, so I like very much. I need it. So something I don't like and something I like. So whatever I like, I only take that, and whatever I don't like, I don't bother. No. So he's free from all likes and dislikes. I want. There is no wants at all. That is what Kamana Rahita. Again, we can see same thing in the life of Sri Ramakrishna's mother, Chandramani Devi. Chandramani Devi, she is a biological mother of Sri Ramakrishna. Once Mathurnath Vishwas. Mathurnath Vishwas is the temple owner of this Dakshineshwar temple complex. They were rich landlords, and they probably in those days they were a millionaire. And imagine, and Chandramani Devi, she comes from a poor background. Whole of her life, she never had any riches. Very simple, bare, simple life she left. She led her life. Now, long back, she had lost her husband. Now she had come in her old age. She came and she was staying with her son, Sri Ramakrishna. And again, there were not much arrangements, very simple arrangements were there. In that only a square meal, that's all. So when this Mathurnath Vishwas, a rich landlord, millionaire, he approaches Chandramani Devi. And because Chandramani Devi is a biological mother of Sri Ramakrishna, and he used to respect Sri Ramakrishna a lot, out of respect towards her, he approaches, Mother, all of your life you struggled. You faced a lot of troubles, I know that. And in young age also you lost your husband. I mean, in middle age, of course. So you please tell me, what do you want? You want land? You want silk saris? Or you want money? Or you want a house? Whatever you want, you tell me, I'm ready to give. Imagine a poor lady who comes from a rural background, who lost his husband, and their children are staying in the thatched roof hut. That is her, status. For such lady, a millionaire is asking, please tell me, what do you want? Probably if we will ask one a good house, or we will ask, okay, you give some thousands of euros, so that thousands of rupees, so that we can have a bank balance, enough bank balance. Or we will ask some good costly saris or costly clothes, or some utensils, or whatever is required, probably we will ask. She said, look, my dear, I need 2, 3 pair of clothes, and I have to sleep a small piece of land, and 2 square meals. And already God has given all these things. I don't need anything else, I think. Then, but this Mathurnath Vishwas felt that probably she's ashamed, or she's feeling little bashful to say, so it is better. And he pesters her again and again. Please think, mother, do you want anything? Do you want anything? Do you want anything? Then she thinks for a long time, for quite a good amount of time, what should I ask? What is the need for me, or what should I ask? After some time, suddenly she tells, with the betel nut, and she has a habit of betel leaf, chewing betel leaf, and with the betel nuts. With that, some tobacco powder sort of it. They also mix a small amount and they eat. And she said, "Okay, I don't have this tobacco powder now. Can you get for 1 rupee or 1 euro for the tobacco powder? That is enough for me." Then he bows down to her and said, there is no wonder why Sri Ramakrishna, the greatest incarnation of this age, why he chose your womb to take birth. Now I understand, mother. You are not an ordinary mother. Saying that, he bows down to her with tears, he comes back. Mathurnath Vishwas was a millionaire, but he had so many wants. I want that, I should have gone this much land, I should have increased my business, all these things. He was being a millionaire, but this lady, poor lady, when the millionaire approaches and asks, what do you want? He says, just 1 pie of tobacco powder, you get it. When I chew my betel leaf and betel nuts, it will help. I don't have that. See, kamana rahitam. They are free from all desires. The same thing we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna also. When the same Mathurnath Vishwas wanted to deposit some amount in his name, he was very angry. Not only he refused, he was angry. And another time he said, okay, some piece, hectares of land will be, I will write in your name so that after my demise, you should not have a problem. Sri Ramakrishna went to beat him. You want to spoil me. Kamana Rahitam. Sri Ramakrishna never had any desires. He had only one desire, probably, that is to help the people, to lift the people from their sufferings, to help the people to come out from sufferings. The same thing we can see in the life of Buddha. All the greatest people, the greatest devotees, if you see in their life deeply, they were all kamana rahitam. They were from all types of wants or desires. Such quality in whomsoever, he may belong to any country, any religion, any creed, or any caste, or any color, sex. So such quality, kamana rahitam quality, if it is existing, it is manifested in any person, we can understand that is one of the good devotee, or is one of the great devotee, or probably has attained that supreme devotion. We don't get things, so we say that I don't want. No, grapes are sour. Why? Because I'm not able to get the grapes. It is not that. Even if I am able to get it, I should be able to tell, no, there is no need of it, so I don't want it. There's a lot of difference between wants, wish, and wants and necessities. So they don't want anything. They want God and God alone. Such type of quality of mind, such type of character, or such type of quality, if it is manifested in a person, then we can know that he is a great devotee, or his devotion is matured enough. So there are some other qualities, as been told by celestial sage Narada. By the grace of Lord, we shall try to see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.